we are live and we are back. Let's go. I'm Corey, your host, one half of the Corner Full of Fed podcast. And I'm back like I never left with another installment of Money Mindset here on the Corner Full of Fed podcast. We discuss health and wealth, finance and fitness, and everything in between. And we want to make sure you save more and save less and keep making better your best. Yes, yes. However, I know y'all see the topic of today's video because I've been talking about it. We're going to get into that bank rate savings rate. Look at that bank rate savings rate. How much money people have saved. I'm going to say this, as y'all can probably imagine, and I haven't read through the article, but pulling it up, I saw some of the numbers. They probably haven't changed a lot, but we're going to see, I guess, the reasonings why people have this much or this little savings. And my guess is we might get into some debt conversations as well. But before we get into that video, or article, should I say, this is the video. Y'all into the video. Y'all know what to do. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Shout out to the YouTube algorithm. Leave those rating reviews on the podcast platforms as well. Again, we continuing to do our best to stay consistent. I mean, we got, when I started these, I made sure I didn't start chopping up the videos until I recorded 2 or 3 of these episodes so I could build a big enough backlog so I wouldn't always have to be in a rush to chop up the videos. But we got the schedule set up. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is where we chop up the smaller versions and get those out to you guys. For those of you that can't watch the full-length episode, then on Wednesday, I usually I do my best to release. And like I said, sometimes it might drop on Friday, but we can drop Money Mindset at any point in time. That's why we renamed it from Wealth Wednesday to Money Mindset. And like I said, I still need to work on, that's on my list to do this week. I got something extremely important that I've been working on for like 3 or 4 months that I'm got to finish up this week. But after that, that's going to open my bandwidth and going to try to do some testing as far as sharing the videos on here so I can start reacting to what is going to be called Out of Context, when it's just me, but in short, the podcast files, where we talk about the viral stuff that goes on social media, right? What happened, the viral stuff posts that happen on social media. That happen on social media. It's still early. Shout out to these early recordings. What's me better doing, y'all? Recording in the morning or recording late at night? I guess neither. But we're gonna get that, and those will probably drop on Saturday, and then those chopped up clips will probably still drop on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Maybe I'll drop them on Tuesday and Thursday and Sunday. I don't know. I'll still figure it out. Don't put no pressure on me. We're gonna get that all set up for y'all so we can continue to have more diversified content. And like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can reach out to us, cordonnfe@gmail.com, or you can just leave a comment on YouTube or DM us on any of the social platforms. I'm Silent_Corey. Then my co-host Jordan is Stop Stalling Jay on all the socials out there. But we appreciate y'all continuing to run the numbers up for us, and we're gonna continue releasing this great content, which needs to continue to get better for y'all. All right. Again, we're going to talk about Don't Sue Me, Sue Your Mama. This is for entertainment purposes only. Myself, no Jordan, or fitness or finance professionals. Anything you hear is for entertainment purposes only, and you need to reach out to a professional and do your own research before taking any action. All right. Student loans, still nothing on student loans. Like I said, I'm going to wait on that until we get a little bit. I say we'll probably, goodness gracious, y'all. I think we vote in 8 months. We vote for potentially a new president. I guess it wouldn't be a new president in the sense that President Trump have already been the presidents. But to possibly put a new person, I think 8 months from yesterday, I think we vote on the 5th of November this year. So look, y'all, it's time for the presidential season to get underway. I know they still haven't had the primaries yet for everyone, but we're probably less than 3 months out. Can't remember exactly when it starts, but prepare for that. And my guess is student loans might get brought up during that time. So that's probably when we're going to talk about it. Monthly car payment. Still, I haven't seen an updated article / maybe just the number hasn't changed, but I'm still seeing that $726 for new vehicles and $597 for used vehicles. And then, $597 for a new lease, and then $533 as far as a monthly payment for used vehicles. So I haven't seen anything new yet. See, this bank rate article is published on the 1st of January of this year, but still no new numbers. So still going to hold off on that. But I just want to always bring those up every episode. I'm supposed to do it every month because any changes to monthly so that we just, we talk about it. All right, but let's get into it, y'all. Like I said, we're going to go to bank rate. See if I can share the screen. And we're going to talk about what the savings rate is, or should I say what it should be. We're going to get into hopefully maybe some tips and tricks on how to help people increase their savings from bank rate, or maybe bank rate is just going to talk about how people don't have no money in the United States of America. All right. Do you have enough savings? Bank rate, the average amount in U.S. savings accounts. How does your cash stack up? And look, I saw this. This was published on February 29th, 2024. So I guess I wasn't behind. Because this I recorded last week, and last week was the 28th, so I'm actually good. I was like, I can't find this article. I can't find it. I guess it sounds like they might have released it a little bit late. Anyways, and this is written by Renee Bennett and edited by Mark Wanjo. All right, here we go, y'all. Key takeaways: the median transaction account balance. What is a transaction account? That's a checking account. What in the U.S. is between $8,000, potentially insufficient for a few months without income. What? The median transaction account balance in the U.S. is between $8,000, potentially insufficient for a few months without income. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I guess I got to continue reading the article. I don't read these articles ahead of time. Generally, households with older members, higher income, and higher education levels have higher savings, but all should aim to save at least 15% of pre-tax income. Are we going to get into that's an investing number? We're going to talk about investing here, or just emergency fund type savings. Using high yield savings accounts and creating a budget can aid in effective saving strategies. I want to be clear, this 15%, when I talk about 15% on here, when I talk about Dave is over my shoulder or anything like that, when I talk about the money guys, where they say you should do your best to go to 25%, that's all like retirement-based investing, not savings. I know they savings and investing sometimes get interchanged as synonyms. They're not the same. Investing is talking about, stock market, things of that nature, retirement type things, 401k, Roth IRA, TSP, 403b, whatever you got. Then here it sounds like they're talking about, see, it says 15% of pre-tax, which sounds like they're talking about investing savings, but then we got this high yield savings account here. So let's hope we get some clarity on that, maybe from bank rate. Many bank accounts hold far less cash than U.S. consumers would need to cover even a few months without income, according to analysis of federal data. The median transaction account. What the hell does median transaction account? I'm sorry, y'all. This is why that person like that comment said I'd be getting distracted. But what does median transaction account mean? And shout out to new listeners out there. If you don't know, my mouse has been broken, but feel like maybe a year now, longer than that. And just to be truthful, I'm too lazy to go get a new one. What is a median bank account? I don't know. We'll figure it out another point in time. Anyways, according to our Federal Reserve Survey, SCF, with the most recently published data from 2022, which is the article I just pulled up when I was searching for median transaction account. Transaction accounts. Oh, look, it defines it. I told you I do not read these articles ahead of time. Maybe I should read ahead of just a teeny bit, but nope, we get that live reaction. Transaction accounts include savings, checking, money market, and call accounts, as well as prepaid debit cards. While the exact amount that consumers should keep in savings will vary depending on their income and expenses, it's generally best to save 15% of your pre-tax income, says Eric M. Baskin, founder of Baskin Financial Planning in Dayton, Ohio. Is 15% of your income just so happen to be 3 to 6 months of expenses? I mean, if you make $100,000, yeah, sure, have $15,000 saved, I guess. I mean, I guess that's still a good marker. But you don't, and here's the part where I talk about, I think the video, it was in relation to why you shouldn't like save. Like the first thing you do is save at the end of the month. You don't want to be saving from an emergency fund standpoint indefinitely. You have a dollar amount, say you make $100,000 in this example, you want to save 15%. So once you hit $15,000, you stop putting money in that high yield savings, that savings account, money market, whatever it is. You don't do it indefinitely and short like you do from an investing standpoint when it comes to like your retirement or your taxable brokerage account or whatever it is. I think this is where a lot of people get confused. They talk about and they talk about your savings rate. And a lot of times your savings rate is lumped into what you're able to invest as well. But you don't want to be saving this 15% here. It looks like they're talking about, savings. So non-retirement, non-taxable brokerage accounts / invested money, highly liquid money in a savings account at a bank. Sure, if you want to have 15%, normally the number is 3 to 6 months, but 15% ends up shaking out to roughly hitting in that 3 to 6 months range. So however you want to look at it. Let me see what my 3 to 6 months would be. So I can have my 15%. Yeah, 15%. Okay. 15% is definitely on the low end. It's probably on the 3 month side of things for most people. So I would say, yeah, at least here is actually a good number. But most people just say 3 to 6 months. I'm not sure why they're using 15% of your pre-tax income as a marker here, being that the investing amount is roughly that same number in that same exact phrase. Anyways, it's also important to factor in paying down debt and having specific savings goals. Once you have no debt, set goals such as to have 6-month emergency fund and save towards that goal. This is baby step 2 and 3, by the way. As I always say, if I see the Dave Ramsey gets so much flack here on the internet, mainly because I think, like I said, it's good for the algorithm. But by God, if I don't see people out here just damn near quoting what the hell he says, once you have no debt, it's probably saying no consumer debt, excluding the mortgage here, which is baby step 2. Save 6 months emergency fund, 3 to 6 months. Baby step number 3. It's like, my goodness. But this was said by Jay Zigmont, PhD and CFP, founder of Child Free Wealth in Mississippi. That mean you ain't got no kids? Anyways, consider remember, if you didn't watch the student loan episode that I did going into 2023, going into last year, showing the data showed that married couples with no children have more student loan debt than married couples with children. All right, so be careful out here for the people trying to build that child-free wealth. Consider stashing savings away in a high-yield savings account or a certificate deposit. Do not put money in a CD to boost your savings. Let me say this. You can put money in a CD, but do not put money that you need as far as your emergency savings, that 3 to 6 months of expenses, in a CD. That money needs to be extremely liquid, and a CD is not extremely liquid. You can take the money out, but usually you have to deal with a penalty, and so you're not going to get all the money out that you put in. The benefit of CDs, especially in a time like now, interest rates are supposed to be getting lower at some point in time, but they're still muddling. CDs do give you that guarantee locked in, whatever it is, 5%, whatever it is for however long the term is. That's the one benefit of CDs. You can't guarantee how much money you're going to have. But the negative to a CD is the restrictions you get or the penalties, fees that you face if you take the money out before the term ends. I've helped plenty of people with CDs, but most people don't have a lot of money in CDs if they do have them. You're better off just keeping the money in, really now, since high yield savings accounts and non-brick and mortar banks are so, I guess, popular. In short, Ally, I believe Marcus doesn't have any brick and mortars, so no actual physical locations. These banks that offer high yield savings accounts and they offer high interest rates, that's one of their marketing strategies to get you to, bank with them, even if it is a percent or two lower, and it does vary. The fact that you get that flexibility, that higher liquidity with that account would lean more, when you hear that information, people say don't get a CD. Now, if you got 3 to 6 months of expenses saved and you're like, hey, I don't know where to put this extra money, when I say you're investing, you can always invest more, but you're investing how much you need to invest. Your 15%, you're going to pay off your house, you're going to pay it off, like different type of things. You're like, what do I do with this extra money? You can look to put it in a CD if you want to. It's always at that point where it's like, Corey, I'm either going to go gamble this money away or I'm going to put it in a CD. I would tell you put the money in the CD, right? If you give me those type of two options, I'm either going to put it all on red. I'm going to put it all on red. I'm going to go down to the casino, put it all on red, or I'm going to put it in a CD. I'd be like, okay, fine, put it in the CD. So when you get to that point where you're like, you don't even know what not saying you have too much discretionary income, but you're like, hey, I just want to put some money in savings, man, in my high yield savings account, and I don't want to invest it. Like, I'm going to put it in the CD because I want to guarantee, this return. It's like, okay, fine. If you, meet all those other financial markers here. Take advantage of high rates currently offered on these accounts. As I just mentioned, I do not read these articles ahead of time, which also going to help you prepare for a potential recession. Oh no, scare tactic. Key savings statistics. Excuse me, y'all. The majority of households, 98.6%, have a transaction account. Thank God, such as a savings account. My goodness. The 1.4% of households, they just have no accounts at all. How are you operating in 2024? Interesting. Singles and younger adults tend to have lower transaction account balances. True. Those people usually have less money. Less than half of U.S. households, 44%, said they were able to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense like a car repair or medical bill as of December 2023 polling. So almost half people don't have $1,000. When they're saying pay for it, my assumption is that's cash, not using a credit card. That's usually how they come to that statistic. Most American adults, about 70%, haven't seen an increase in their emergency savings balance over the past year. And that's interesting because remember, during the panorama, we had that huge spike in savings rate for various reasons that we don't need to talk about right now. But we did see an increase in the savings rate. Now we're coming out. I would say 2024 is the official first, I would say, official last year. I would consider last year the first non-pandemic year, but 2024 is definitely the first, non-pandemic year. My bad. Last year wasn't, because we still had those student loan forbearance going on. So this is technically the first, like, straight up, okay, no more panorama stuff going on, most likely. But 2023 kind of was. But as you see, the savings rate has already dropped after those 1 to 2 years, 2020 to 2022. So those 3 years of, you see that savings rate spike. Can't remember exactly how long it lasts, but those are roughly deemed the panorama years. We see 70% of people have not seen an increase in their balance at all last year. Slightly over, and that's, you could say, due to inflation, even though inflation was crazy high more so in 2022, not in 2023. Slightly over half of U.S. adults have more emergency savings than they do credit card debt as of December 2023. Okay, so the people who are, this is where it gets confusing. So 44% of people don't have $1,000. However, slightly over half, so 51% or more, do have more emergency savings than they do credit card debt, which is, they could have, $500 in credit card debt unless they have $501 in emergency savings, right? I mean, what's that? What are the actual cash amounts? Almost 72% of adults surveyed in June 2023 say they are not currently financially secure. My God. So that's about that 70%, where we say that about 70%. Yeah, this must be the same exact people. We're not increasing our savings, so we don't feel financially secure. How much does the average household have in savings? I remember I got to start not taking breaks, but one, slow down because I talk too fast, but two, I take just little pauses, makes it easier for me to chop up the videos. Anyway, while the median bank account balance is $8,000, according to the latest SCF data, the average or mean balance is actually much higher at $62,410. The median balance may give a clear picture of how much U.S. households have saved, since the average figure can be skewed significantly by a small number of outliers with high bank accounts. What do you mean by median account balance? Like when people get paid? I want to be very clear. From my experience, the median account balance is, let's just say, not $1,000. This is from 2012 to 2018, this data in my head, but it's damn sure not no 8,000. I get what they're saying with the mean, right? So I use the median a lot of times over the mean / average, but the median, I don't know who I don't know who they surveyed. I guess it did just get this. I mean, SCF just got this information. SCF also breaks down average bank account balances by household type. Couples with no children have the highest median balance. So couples with no children have the highest median balance, but then they also have the most student loan debt. What is up with this data? While single parents have the lowest. It makes sense because they got single income. Again, the average balance is skewed by outliers, so the median balance may okay. Here we go. We got household type. Single with one or more children. 2,400 is their median account balance. The mean balance, though, is almost $17,000. Single without children, $4,000 for a median, and then $19,000 for the average. Couple with one or more children, $12,500 for the median, $73,000 for the mean, and then couple without children, $16,000 the median, and then $103,000 for the mean. Only includes those under 55 years old. Makes sense when you're going to factor in, quote unquote, having children. I would say this: it's going to be interesting to see, especially with millennials, their situation with delaying having children or even having less children when they do decide to have children. It's going to be interesting to see what the data looks like if we end up seeing, since our generation, I would say Gen X, but millennials and beyond, where you're going to usually have, two people that are career focused, the husband and the wife in the household, and what those incomes look like and that wealth building looks like in comparison to people who are married but end up deciding to have kids, and maybe one person ends up being career focused for a certain period of time because the other person, stays home and their focus is, getting the children. The focus is on the children until, all the kids are at least, in school, 5, 6 years old once they get to first grade. It's going to be interesting to see how that data plays out over the next 20 to 30 years with the millennial generation and beyond, with the situation we're seeing here. We're saying, they have more savings. Yeah, more savings. They have drastically more in the average, but the median 12,500, 16,000. Not that much difference. It's going to be interesting. I would say this. It's a hit or miss. I mean, I have to say that I don't have everybody's at all the single people, at all the people I know, with kids / without kids / single, married or couple. I don't have everything in my head. It depends. Excuse me. I don't have enough data. That's why I guess you got to do a couple thousand people. I don't have enough data just off the top of my head for that. All right. Average savings by age. Households with older individuals tend to have higher account balances. Makes sense. You've been working longer, further along in your career, up to about twice as high than younger households, though the gap was higher in previous years. Interesting. So here, since it's under 55, when we're saying couples without children versus with children, well, we're going to get into it, but I'm interested to see if that might be because, the people who are older and have no children have more money than people who are younger with children, right? You have that in this, this whole pot. There's people under 25, 55. I guess this is 18 to 55 years old. So yeah, it says 35. Okay. Different data here. Though that gap was higher in previous years, okay, we're talking about the gap between older individuals having higher account balances. There were two exceptions. Household with individuals ages 45 to 54, so right in the middle of the sandwich generation, they had higher median balances than those with members ages 55 to 64. And households with individuals ages 65 to 74 had mean balances higher than those over age 74. Okay, I'm just going to read the table. It's too much. All right, less than 35 years old, the median is going to be 5,400. The average is going to be 20,000. 35 to 44, 7,500. 41,000 for the mean. 45 to 54 is 8,700. And then 71,000 for the mean. 55 to 64 is 8,000. So they have less saved than 45 to 54 for the mean. And then 72,000 saved though for the mean. Excuse me, the median is 8,000. And the mean is 72,000. So I keep saying average. Then 65 to 74, these people have the most saved. But again, these people with no children. So when I say no children, in theory, the children are out of the house. 13,400, and then mean bank account balance 100,000, and then 74 or older, 10,000 saved for the median, and then the mean is 82,000, almost $83,000 saved. See, and it's interesting when we see these numbers of 55 to 64 here is 8,000, but when we take 54 and under in comparison to this other chart, I mean, with children, without children, interesting to see, what percentage of people in these groups have children and don't have children. Because older consumers have had more time to build, right, and build and invest wealth, it's only natural they would have more money, exactly. Compared to younger generations, some other factors that could impact the disparity in savings between younger and older consumers are older consumers may have more in their careers and may have more inherited wealth than younger consumers. No, well, yes, older people are more likely to have inherited wealth than younger people because, the younger people's parents who they're going to inherit that wealth from, in short, haven't yet died, but the older people's ones are more likely to have passed away, unfortunately. However, it's already been proven that people who have wealth, they don't inherit their wealth, or the reason they have wealth isn't due to inheritance. So that's already been statistically proven highly unlikely. I think it's 80% chance that's not the case. Yep, yeah, and younger consumers are more burdened by student loans. Here we are. I thought I was almost done, but I guess I'm not. Let me speed up a little bit. All right, savings by age statistics. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 2022 Consumer Expenditure Survey, those age 45 to 54, okay, got the most saved. Do I have the most expenses? Again, sandwich generation makes sense. 31% of Gen Zers say they have enough savings to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense, compared to 43% of millennials, 36% of Gen Z, and 59% of baby boomers. Shout out to millennials. Y'all give us so much hell. We second place. And I would say we first because it makes sense that, baby boomers got, 59% because most of them are near retirement age. I think all baby boomers is 1963. They should all be at retirement age by now. That's the year my mom was born. Yeah, baby boomers are past 59 and a half. So all baby boomers are hit 59 and a half. Yeah. Younger consumers are more likely to be hit by bank account fees. Shout out to bank rate 46% of Gen Zers and 42% of millennials pay monthly bank fees. Oh, goodness. Please don't have insufficient funds. Those NSF fees compared with only 22% of Gen Zers and 14% of baby boomers. Makes sense. Average savings by education level. Interesting. All right, here we go. We're going to skip this and just go straight to the chart. Education level is one of the factors that correlates with bank account balance based on SCF data, which indicate that the median and mean balances fluctuate along with how education is attained by the individual. Largest balance jump is from, okay, we're just gonna get into that. Okay, no diploma, no high school diploma. $900 is the median account balance. 9,000 is the mean. High school diploma, 3,000 is the median. The 23,000 is the mean. Some college, 5,200 for the median, and then 33,000 for the mean. And then bachelor's degree, 23,000 for the median, and then 116,000 for the mean. So if you got a bachelor's degree, your median balance is going to be higher than everyone's balance besides the some college with a mean of 33,000. I think the data has already been out there for years. I mean, this was out there when I was growing up. You're going to make $1 million more. I mean, now how much is $1 million more over the course of your lifetime? But the higher education, in short, the more income you make. Because I mean, you're going to have the more money you're going to have. Because remember, this is savings. This is not total wealth / net worth. This is just straight up how much people have in savings. All right. Average savings by income. Okay, now we're going to get an income. Very similar to age and education level, income amount correlates overall with how much an individual has in savings, right? The more money you have in theory, the more you should be able to save. Median balance for highest income breaking more than 120 times that of the lowest. My goodness. Most significant jump. Okay, we're going to talk about this. Okay, so from $35,000 or less, median account balance is 900. That's the same amount as people with no high school diploma. So people with no high school diploma, I guess they're not making over 35,000. Is that what this is telling us? They're not even making. That's right around that $15 an hour mark that people keep complaining about. Yes, 15,000 is 31. $15 an hour is 31,000. So what is $35,000 an hour? Almost $17 an hour. Is that what people are talking about? Mean is almost 8,000. 35 to 59K is going to be 2,500, then 16K for median and mean. 60K to 92K is 74, and then 25K. 91,000 to 153,000 is going to be 15K, then 44K for median and mean savings, and 153K to 245K is 33,000 to 76,000 for median and mean, and then 245,000 plus a $250,000 or more, essentially 111,000 for the median, and then 353,000 for the mean. People have just $350,000 sitting in their bank account. I hope not in one bank account, because that puts you over the 250 limit for NCUA and FDIC. Whatever the people are insure that stuff. I can't remember now. The median account balance for most income groups has progressively increased since 2013. One exception is the median balance for the lowest income range, which has decreased by $40. Unfortunate there. Average savings by race and ethnicity. Okay, for race, those classified as non-Hispanic whites have significantly higher median and mean account balances than those in the Hispanic and Black categories, reflecting a racial wealth gap. Here we go. As white families hold more than 5 times the wealth of typical Black Hispanic families. Where are the Asians at? Asian people have the most money, by the way. Especially when you break down to, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, Pakistan. When you break it down like that, those people at the top, Indonesian, Filipino, those people are actually at the top. When we just have white, Black, Hispanic, then other here, right? This other is including indigenous people, right? It's dropping it down. But if you add Asians here, they would actually be at the top. All right. White people got the most, then Hispanics, then Black people. Black people got $10 more for their median bank account balance. Whatever. And then others, which is inflated, but they're technically in second place behind white people. How much of our money should go to savings? Many advisors recommend workers stash 15 to 20% of income spread across accounts like CDs. Do not. Why? Money market accounts, savings accounts, and other places where money can be protected to grow. Somebody's offering you a CD, telling you put money in a CD, ask them if they're getting a commission off that. How much someone should tuck away depends on what they're spending, says Greg McBride, CFA, Chief Financial Analyst for Bankrate. Okay, Greg, let's see what we're talking about here. The best way to determine your monthly expenses is to create a budget. Not the best way. That's the only way to determine your monthly expenses. How are you going to determine your monthly expenses if you don't do a budget? Your budget is telling you how you spend your money. Greg McBride, CFA, Chief Financial Analyst for Bankrate. That lists how much money you write is coming in every month and subtracts that from expense categories like housing, transportation, groceries. All right, cool. The average consumer had about $10,228 in income left over after taxes and expenses in 2022. That's less than $1,000 a month on a monthly basis. All right. And that's according to Consumer Expenditure Survey published by the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics. The data shows the average person shelled out about $6,080 a month. How? That's the average. Meaning for 3 months worth of expenses, they should save at least $18,000. True, according to McBride's recommendation. See, that's the average. I'd like to see the median. Because when we do 60,000, 6,000 times 12 is 72. That's the gross median income is like 75,000. So this is the average what people are spending. So I'd like to see what the median is that people are spending. Because I'm not sure what the average income is in America. Bottom line, even with the challenges of inflation, having money in the bank to cover emergencies is possible when you have a budget. Oh, look, we're getting back to the budget, back to basics. You got to get on a budget. Establish an emergency fund should be a top priority. It's also important to consider retirement and other savings. Again, goals you may have. Over time and as you advance your career, you may want to increase your contributions to retirement. So again, this 15% to 20% they're talking about is not for retirement savings, since they're delineating here that you need to also save for retirement savings. So if they're telling you to save 15 to 20% of your pre-tax, let's go 15% for savings, not retirement savings. And if you do another 15%, which is usually the recommendation of your pre-tax for retirement savings, that puts you at 30%. Remember on the last episode, 2 episodes ago, we talked about daycare. Whenever I talked about daycare, when we talked about daycare, that's 2 episodes ago. Daycare, they wanted to be no more than 7%. So we do 15 plus 15, that's 30. Then we have 37% right there, right? Then if we talk about how much your rent/mortgage should be, no more than 25%. So 37 plus 25, we have 62% right there. We didn't even pay taxes yet. It's crazy out here, y'all. Please pay off this debt and get your life in order. The financial numbers out here, the math is mathing, and the math is saying that people's in a bad situation. So you can have 8 times your salary saved by age 60. That's why you need to put money into your retirement savings. To get the most out of your savings, okay, then we got to add here, I believe. All right, again, Renee Bennett, banking writer. And here, let's see if we can see how much they're saving real quick in this savings article, how much they say we should be saving. Okay, they're just doing the 1 times your age, 3 times your age, things like that. All right, y'all, that's it. Locked in, loaded. Again, the average amount in U.S. savings accounts, how much does your cash stack up? And again, like I said, this is written by Renee Bennett and edited by Mark Wanjo. I'm pronouncing Mark's last name right. All right, y'all, that's it. Locked and loaded, end of the episode. I want to be very, very clear. If you just follow the baby steps, you're going to have your 36 months of expenses saved. You don't have to worry about it. No. Yes, savings is important, but over here, definitely recommend, we're talking about emergency savings here. We're not talking about retirement savings, and that's why, savings versus investing. Definitely, you need to do everything you can. When I'm working with my clients, most people have some amount of money saved. Most people don't have 36 months of expenses, but most people have usually some money saved. I just have them keep it there. Because again, we don't want to save indefinitely anyway. And most people, the amount of money they have saved isn't going to supercharge their debt payoff journey. And we want to pay off your debt. So from a budgeting standpoint, as I talk about in this article, we can get those minimum payments back into your budget and increase your liquidity on a month-to-month basis and increase the chances of you having to go back into debt, and you can start paying cash for things, in short. And so most people, I just have them leave it there and just don't add no more to it. And then when we get to a point where, let's say you have $10,000 saved and you have $10,000 left in debt, you have that conversation about, do you just want to pay all your debt off right now? A lot of people get to that situation where they say yes, because the whole point of the debt payoff journey is to change your mindset around not just debt, but finance in general. And you get the financial coaching, the education through that process, and you see how important it is to no longer have the debt at all. You get to a point where you're actually not just living below your means, but how you're operating is within your means / below your means. So you might be going out less because you can't afford to go out as much as you've been going out in the past, which is why you have all that debt. You don't see all this damn driving you do on your car causes your maintenance to be due sooner, and you can afford to pay this much in maintenance on a monthly basis. You can afford the maintenance on a yearly basis. You can afford the maintenance on your car. What the average number is, like, when you Google it. But that's if you drive your car X amount, those miles that cause that maintenance to be due when it's due. If you're driving double the miles, then you're paying, in simple math, simple logic, double the amount of maintenance, and you can afford that level of maintenance. Those are the type of things or hidden costs that are in people's finances that, one, I try to help, bring to the forefront and add more clarity to, but really that people don't see. And it doesn't show up in your budget. The fact that you go out too much, you think shows up in your eating out budget, but you don't see how it shows up in your car maintenance budget. So when we just did this article and 44% of people don't have $1,000 for something like a car expense, well, boom. And that's why we did the one article about high income earners not having no money. They talk about, I ain't getting no oil change, right? I'm trying to figure out, put tires on my car. And it's like, most of y'all, depending on the size of your vehicle, but if you have a large vehicle and you have a truck, right, then it makes sense that your tires cost more. But for those of us with cars and things like that, unless you're like me, you got, I buy sports tune type of tires, whatever, for my car. So my tires are like, I don't know, $300 or like $280, almost $300, something like that. But a lot of these tires out here, you can get tires for $100, $150 relative, to the size of your vehicle / the type of tires you need for your car. So those are the things that people don't see that impact their savings rate. And when you don't have money saved, it can keep you, and usually does keep people, in this debt loop where they can never end up getting out of debt and, get their head above water. All right. That's it, y'all. End of the episode, locked and loaded. Make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to the YouTube algorithm. Please leave those rating reviews on the podcast platforms as well. My information, as well as my coach Jordan information, can be found in the description and will one day be pinned to the top. I don't know if actually, now I'm saying that, I might not pin it one day, because when people leave comments and there's a conversation, I'd like to pin that to the top. But something will be pinned one of these days consistently. I'm silent_Corey on social, and Jordan is Stop Stalling J on social. Jordan's business page is finallyfit.live. That's where you can go to sign up for the Monday and Wednesday 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time virtual training sessions. All right. Again, y'all, if y'all have any comments, please leave one. Let us know. Again, we appreciate the feedback. We continue to do our best to stay consistent and drop better content for y'all. All right. That's it, y'all. Remember to save more and say less. Keep making better your best. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.